Alright, hi class. So we are talking about making a cup weaving basket. So if you noticed, I kind of measured out and changed colors to create a pattern here. I also added beads on later, which we will get to once we master the weaving. So in order to explain this, I'm not going to do it on the clear cup because it's really hard to see on the video, plus it's hard to see if you go over or under in a clear cup. So I found, and I'm going to use a blue cup here. So I still have my odd number of flaps, which you want, and then I also have my string. Okay, so what I ended up doing is to get the right amount of string that you want. You're going to loosely wrap it around your cup like this. Okay? So I'm going to wrap it around 4 times. So I have 3 and 4. Okay? Because I wrapped it around 4 times and that we're weaving in and out, you will only be able to see 2 of these strings. So I wrapped it around 4 times, so we're going to divide that by a half, and we're only going to be able to see 2 eventually. Okay? It'll make sense later. I'll come back to that. So, to start off, what you're going to want to do is fold back one of your flaps and put your string behind your flap. And then kind of snug it down at the bottom. Okay, so it's nice and snug. You're going to want to leave some left over here that just kind of sits out here. We'll worry about that later. We'll come back to that. Then what you're going to, oops, I pulled it out. Let's try that again here. So we put it behind, snug it at the bottom, and we have some left over. Then what we're going to do, because we went under, we want to go over the next flap. So over, and then under the 3rd flap. Okay? So you get the idea here. So under, over, under. So our next one is going to be over. So we're going to go over top, snug, snug. So over, under, over. And we're just going to kind of keep going here. Alright. So over and under. Okay, so we snugged it down. You want to keep it nice and snug at the bottom. And we're back to the beginning here where we started. Because we have an odd number of flaps here, it has us kind of go back over and just do the opposite of what we just did. So we started with under. Now we're going to go back over on top of it. So over and under. Okay? So that way, now we see 1 on each. So over and under. You're just doing the opposite of what you just did. So over, under, over, under. Over, under. We're going to make it all the way around here. Over, under. And snug them back down. We want them nice and tight at the bottom. Okay. And we're back at the beginning here. Over and under. Okay. So now if we look at this, each of them have 1 line of string. Okay, if we keep going, and if we measured right when we wrapped it around 4 times, we should be able to get 2 strings on each of them. So if I keep going here, over, under, now I have 2 here and 1 here. Okay? So if I keep going, over, under, over, under, just kind of shove it down a little bit there. So I have 1 with 2, the middle one only has 1, and then this other one has 2. So every other will give you a different number. And keep going. We're almost back at the beginning here again. Whoop. And now the ones, since we're back at the beginning, the ones that only had 1, now we're adding to those. Okay? So over, under. So now hopefully we'll be able to see 2 in each one of them. Over, under. Kind of smush it down. Smush, smush, smush. Over, under. Oh! Green string. Over, under. Okay, so now that we're almost done here, one other important thing to know as you're going along, you're going to start running out of string. And that'll happen. That's okay. So once you start running out of string, what I ended up doing is I tied another string at the end of my other string. Okay? So that way it's like one big long string. You can change colors at this point if you want to. You can stay at the same color. It's up to you. I ended up changing colors. I decided to do a green. So if I tied a knot, so you tie your 2 ends together like this. Okay? So it's just like a knot. So you kind of loop around. You make a little X with a hole there. Loop around. And then bring your green through that hole. And then tight, and then pull it nice and tight, like that. And you're gonna wanna do that like 2 times, so it's a nice and tight knot. Then you just keep going, so over, under, over, under. And now that I changed colors, it'll show up on my cup here. So if I kept going, we want to go all the way up to the top here, so it will take you just a little while, but make sure you always remember to kind of stop and go back and push them all down nice and snug together. And that's how you make a cup weaving basket. Good luck!